Welcome to Trail Manners, the podcast so dedicated to mountain trails and running that they broadcast out of a 78 Volkswagen bus in the mountains. Who does that? Eric and Joel are your hosts and will bring you the trail life as you may have not heard it before. You hear about everything from gear reviews, nutrition to keep you upright and moving forward, and they'll even bring guests into the bus for conversations that you won't hear anywhere else. It's time for some running adventures on a higher elevation. The old 78 Volkswagen bus is fired up and headed to the mountains. Here are your hosts for Trail Manners, proudly representing the 801 with their passion and love for the trails. Eric Manning and Joel Hatch.
Welcome to the Trail Manners Podcast, episode number 76. Today we have Melissa Solomon joining us in Bomber Studio. So if this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Trail Manners Podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Trail Manners. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Trail Manners Podcast in Bomber Studio with Joel Hatch. We had a local guest here with us, and her name happens to be Melissa Solomon.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So this has been a long time coming for us, right? Because we
set this up a while ago.
Yeah.
Actually, it came about when that Lady Wild Film Festival.
Yep, the ASDT, and she's dope too.
She was there volunteering, and she acted like she knew us.
And we acted like, and I'm like, okay, she looks really familiar.
And we totally did that. We're like, she looks familiar. Where do we know her from? Right? And then we had to go home and stalk. And I think we became friends on Facebook that night.
Yes.
And then I was like, where do I know her? I know her face from somewhere. And it dawned on me when I was making the And She's Dope 2 website, her story was on the blog.
Yeah.
And so I went back and I read her story and I was like, that's where I know her. She's got a good story. We need to get her on the show.
Yep. Well, and that other hard part is, and this goes for everybody listening, right? Realistically, we know you mostly by your Instagram handle.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there's people that have talked to us like, hey, I'm so-and-so. And I'm like, you look really familiar. And then like,
right.
I'm Doobie Trail Run Boo. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's
exactly.
who you are.
You
like,
need the Instagram name or you don't know who people
don't know
are
who
nowadays.
they are. Exactly. So that's where, because as soon as you said who you post on Instagram, I'm like, oh, yeah, no kidding.
Everybody has two names now.
It is. It's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. So, because no one goes by, well, there's a few people.
Come on, I got mine.
Yeah, you do Joel.Hatch, but there's a lot of Joel Hatches. Right?
Not Joel.Hatch, though.
Not Joel.Hatch, but if
Right.
I'm looking Joel Hatch, there's all kinds of goofy dudes on there.
Yeah, but there's only like one or two like legit dudes with that name.
But if you pull it up on your phone and you see the photo next to the name, you
Yeah.
can barely see it. So it's like, is that who it
Right.
is, or is that who? Because there's a lot of people.
If they
like
even
that.
have a good photo in the circle.
True.
Exactly, because they might have a picture of their dog or a
Yep.
scenery photo. I'm like, that's not helping. That's not.
That's
I'm
when
not
you got to stalk deeper.
Yeah.
Got to go for deep dive.
Yeah.
I am a professional stalker, so
Yeah.
that's
You're
Good.
why I knew
You're
you
in good
guys.
company.
yeah, right. Yeah, we're starting a college course on internet stalking, actually,
Nice.
because we're pretty good at
We're
it.
going to put it on Linda, Udemy.
There we go. And then we'll just do some what do you call them, video tutorials.
That's right.
Kind of how you start out and then how you actually get to that, like, dark web part of it, right?
Hmm.
Isn't that what they use, the dark web?
I'm liking this idea.
Dark
I think this can be a total moneymaker.
yeah.
Roll with it.
Until we
Go
start,
with it.
until you start seeing the people sign up for it, you're like,
Dude, you don't have to ever
oh.
see them.
That's true.
That's the good part, right?
That's true.
They
Everything
can be
will
told
audio.
creepoids.
Audio. Everything's audio.
That's
we'll
right.
send you a certificate after the end, too.
That's right.
I like that. I want one of these certificates, please.
It'll have a magnifying glass on it, like a Sherlock Holmes looking thing.
Very official.
See, I told you we go all over the place on this show. We just never know what's going to happen. So if you haven't looked, if you go to the And She's Dope 2 website,
And we'll have the link.
yeah, not too far down in the blog roll, you're going to see Melissa's story. And I was the same with Joel. Once we kind of talked and went back and read the story, it's like just super inspiring, right?
It is.
For anybody. I
Yep.
don't care who you are, because everybody's been at some point where you were, right? Whether they were nervous to get in a group, which you talk about, or
Right.
they want to better their lives, or they're kind of like, a lot of people, it's like, man, I got married, I had a kid, whatever. Where did things go, right? Where did things change for me? So
Right.
Your story is awesome, and I hope people go out there. We'll have a link to that post, because I'd have to imagine writing that on the internet was a little uncomfortable.
Right. It's scary putting yourself out there and putting all your business out there.
Yeah. And some people are better than others at it. Like some people, unfortunately, have no
Overshare.
problem putting their business out there.
They totally overshare.
Like a little too much. But
Yeah.
Just reading yours, you could, read it and see how real it was. Like
Right.
you knew when you were reading it, like, no, this is really out of my comfort zone, which again makes it that much more appealing, right? So give us a little history, if you wouldn't mind, just, kind of bullet point cliff notes of your blog post and kind of how it all started.
Okay. Probably about 4 years ago, I found myself extremely depressed, just in a really bad place in life. I had a young daughter at the time. Well, I still have her.
She's not as young now, though.
She was young then. She's a big girl now. And I was just really struggling with depression and finding myself being morbidly obese. At that time, I was about 120 pounds overweight and really struggling with wanting to continue with life. Even having a young daughter, I found myself wondering if her life would be better without me there and if I was better just not here in general. And I kind of came to a point in my life where I realized I've got to make a choice. Either I can give up and either live obese or not live at all, or I can see if it's possible to make a change. And I knew I needed some help to make a change, and I reached out to somebody that I could trust. My sister, Heather Fuller, she has been a huge mentor to me and a huge help to me and still is to this day. And she kind of helped me work through finding a way to set small goals, take it little by little so that the idea of losing, over 120 pounds wasn't overwhelming. I think anybody that's looking at a task like that would probably give up quickly because it just seems too big, The idea of that is daunting. So we kind of set some small goals for myself, tried to focus not on the scale and finding other things that I could kind of achieve to make me feel like I was getting somewhere. And one of the first things that I decided I wanted to do was to run a mile without stopping.
Right.
In my life, I had never run a mile, not even in gym in high school when they
No.
made you do it.
Right.
I did not run a mile.
Figured out a way to get out of that, didn't you?
Yes. So that was my very first non-scale kind of big goal.
Right.
And we started working towards that little by little.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of marked out a path that was a mile long, and I just kept going at it, day after day and seeing how much better I could get at it.
How long did it take you to get to that point that you can do the mile? Do you remember?
I don't remember that well, but I would probably say maybe about 6 months or so.
Okay.
I just kept trying at it, and I remember the first time I probably stopped 6 times at least, and then the first time that I ran an actual mile without stopping, I remember everything was just kind of on point. The weather was perfect, the music was perfect, the cadence was perfect, and I remember looking at my sister about halfway through because she was running it with me. And we both looked at each other like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to stop. And it was so awesome. And it just helped me push through to the end of that mile. And the second we hit that stoplight, that was that mile marker, we just looked at each other and hugged and started crying because I just couldn't believe I achieved something so big.
So over the course of that 6 months, were you noticing changes other than your fitness level?
Yeah, I started losing weight. I think it just came hand in hand with the movement, and I was tracking calories and things like that, and just trying to watch what I was eating better without trying to focus on the scale. You could see the pounds coming off through the activities and things like that.
Clothes were fitting differently.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Had to go through multiple wardrobes.
That's always the best part.
Yeah.
I always have that excuse to buy clothes.
Little motivation.
So I still use that.
What? Because some people, you talk about, because you made some great points just right away. It's like you had small goals. Because I think if you say I looked at the daunting task ahead of how much I wanted to lose, and that's intimidating for anybody. What kept you on point during that, say 6 months to run the mile nonstop? I mean, you ran a lot, like a few times a week or how often you ran it. What kept you kind of focused there and not to say, oh, you know what, it's been 4 months, I can't do it? What kept you kind of going that way?
Probably seeing the improvements and seeing the changes in my body also. I think that seeing every time I would do a little better made me want to go back for more. And as I would move more and start to feel better, physically and mentally, just my whole outlook kind of started changing, and I became a more positive person. And I realized that by doing these things, I'm happier. It makes me a happier person. So you just, I guess I just wanted to kind of feel happier and continue the positivity going. And so I just kept going back for more.
Okay. So you hit the 1 mile mark. So that's kind of what you considered your smaller goals. What was the next? Like, okay, I've done this now. It's what? What was your next
5K.
5K, right?
That's natural, right?
Yeah. So my family actually put on a 5K for me.
Say what?
That is cool.
I've got a big family. I've got 4 sisters and a brother, and they're all super supportive, in addition to my husband and my daughter. And we were staying at a cabin in Bear Lake, and it was actually, I think, close to my year anniversary of starting to lose weight, and they marked out a 5K course. We had T-shirts and everything. One of my sisters designed them, and my entire family participated in the 5K. And that was my very first time doing a 5K.
That's so cool.
I'll tell you what.
Did you guys have a name for it?
The Hubbard something, because my maiden name's Hubbard.
Okay.
I can't remember the Hubbard run, something like that. It had a big bear claw on it for being in Bear Lake.
Oh, that's even
like
better.
We need to bring this back.
I know, right? The Hubbard 5K.
The Hubbard
Yes.
5K.
And I like the bear
My family
claw
will make it
stuff.
happen.
That would be so, but that would be like, okay, I know we're going to go through, a different rabbit hole. That'd be so cool for people that are trying to lose weight. Like a goal for them.
Or small goals, because it's like, I want to run a 5K.
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of 5Ks in the world, and
Right.
every weekend,
Every
or 7
weekend.
a weekend, or
Yeah.
whatever else.
Exactly.
But you could do it a little bit differently,
Right. That would be cool.
That'd be, you could start this whole new thing.
Yeah, you could.
That'd be really cool. So a 5K at Bear Lake, that's number one. That's a cool place.
It is.
Yeah. If
So
you're not
pretty.
familiar with Bear Lake, it's amazing.
Beautiful.
Really good shakes. up
Oh,
there.
yeah. What are those? The huckleberry? No.
Raspberry?
Raspberry shakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the raspberry days in August.
Oh, those are good.
Okay. Anyway, we went down a bad spot. So you did the 5K. How did that feel? I mean, because a year later, okay, you went from a mile without stopping, and then here you go, I'm gonna bust out 3.2 miles or a
Right.
5K. How did that go for you?
It was really hard to finish, but I was so proud after the fact, and to see the support that I was receiving was kind of an even sweeter treat. But it made me feel just kind of in awe that making a decision a year prior, whether I wanted to continue or if I was going to give up in general. And then a year later, I was feeling healthier, losing weight, and I actually ran a 5K, which I never in the world thought I would be able to do.
Right.
So it kind of opened up a whole new world for me of realizing my capabilities, I guess.
So is the Hubbard family runners? Does anybody run like 5Ks, half marathons at that point? Were they into running?
One of my sisters, Heather, the one that particularly helped me, she
Right.
had ran a marathon before.
Okay.
And a lot of my sisters have just always been athletes. I'm the only one in my family that didn't really grow up being an athlete. I don't know how that happened, but I've got like a sister that played college basketball and, varsity type
Right.
sports, and I just kind of moseyed along in life and
Trying to
minded my
get
own
out of-
business.
Trying to sneak away from doing the mile in gym class.
Yeah, exactly.
It worked,
Right.
but it didn't work in my favor maybe.
No.
So it opened up this whole new thing. So you have gone through this progression in life, not just in running, but running was obviously a big part of that. So you did your 5K, and then the next one, obviously, it seems would be a natural progression, would be a half marathon.
Half marathon.
Good
right?
guess.
All right. So and I read your story too, but the 5K family run wasn't in that though.
No.
So that's pretty good to know.
No, that's like my favorite part so far.
So far, we're
yeah,
there.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So then it's time for a half marathon, and that's a big jump.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
So you're talking 3.2 to 13.1.
And what was the time frame between 3.2 and 13? 5 months, 6 months, 3 months?
I would probably say a year after that.
After your 5K? Okay. And where was this at?
My first half marathon was the Park City Pink Series.
Okay.
That's a women's run.
Women's
right?
for breast cancer, and
Right.
I think cancer in general, but
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
And so you trained for that once. What was going through your mind? Okay, you did your 5K, and now you're jumping adding 10 miles
10
to
miles.
that. Mindset wise, I mean, what was happening during the course of that year?
During the course of that year, initially I had no idea I was going to end up running a half marathon. I actually got really lucky and found a running group that convinced me to come run with them. Even though it frightened me, I thought I could only run with my sister because I'm comfortable with her.
Right.
and the
So
thought
was
of
this a road running group or?
yeah, road
Okay.
running group. I mean, just basically, yeah, road. They didn't really have an agenda. It was just some girls that wanted to find other girls to run with.
Right.
So really, no set goals or anything at that time. It was just a group to meet, and my sister convinced me to go with her to run with this group. And I'm super grateful that I ended up going, because at that point I hadn't run probably more than like 4 or 5 miles, and joining them kind of helped me break past that barrier of, the 4 or 5 miles, and also realize that it's actually fun to run with people, and
Yeah.
it makes you just talk and you forget what you're doing and you have fun. So I grew a lot in that year running with that group, and they were the ones that actually were like, we're going to sign up for a half marathon. Do you want to do it? And I'm like, I can't. And I was lucky because they had more belief in me than I did. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll try. And so we ended up, I ran it with my sister Heather, and then my friend Melissa and my friend Megan at the time that were part of that group. So the 4 of us experienced that half marathon together.
Wow. What was your, your time? I think you listed was 2:45, if I remember right, something like
Yeah.
that. But you crossed the finish line of a half marathon.
Mhm.
What was going through your head at that point?
My only goal going in was just to finish. And so crossing that finish line, I just was through the roof excited. I couldn't believe that here I was now doing a half marathon. I just remember going home and just feeling like, wow, like I really can make a change and I can do big things.
Right. So that basically was a 2-year journey from being, okay, I'm going to change to half marathon. So let's quantify that. What sort of weight loss did you experience during that 2 years?
100 pounds.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. And
Really, that's just incredible.
it's hard to really wrap your head around. Even now, probably when you go back and kind of say, man, that was a journey.
Can you imagine like strapping a backpack on now? And
I
just
think about that.
And throwing 100 pounds in there?
I think about that
How
a lot. Or
hard
when
that
I
would be on
carry
your body.
my daughter and stuff, I'm like, I don't know how I walked around with that much of a burden on my body. And no
Right.
wonder I was so tired and exhausted all the time. And funny enough, this is actually my 4-year anniversary.
Right on. Like
Yeah.
today?
Yeah.
Oh my heck! What a we did it.
We did it.
We nailed
We
it.
won. We need to stop the interview. Just go home.
Everybody on the count of 3, drop your mic.
But
That's awesome.
yeah.
So 4 years, and like Joel was mentioning
Man,
that
you've come a long way in 4 years.
because
Yeah.
we'll get to where you're at
I know.
now that people aren't going to be ready for after this.
I
But,
know.
But I mean, so you did the 2-year journey, and besides just the 100-pound weight loss, what other things did you notice a huge difference in?
Back in the day when I was, severely depressed and obese, I would avoid people greatly. I would avoid my family. I would avoid friends. I would bail out a lot on people
Right.
because I just was too embarrassed to show up. I didn't want them to, wonder what happened to me and be shocked when they saw me. So I kind of was a little bit in hiding, I guess
Right.
you could say. And just personality-wise, I really developed a love for people and wanting to get to know people, wanting to see new things, experience new things, and just get out and live in general. So just kind of my whole personality came out during that period, I think.
Okay.
And so, I mean, did you notice a difference just not just there, but with your daughter?
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's activities or just your enthusiasm or energy, because kids are draining. Anyway, I don't care how fit you are.
Yeah,
They're
they
draining, right? So
I know. I was doing homework with my boy before I came over here, having to do these crazy equations to measure the airflow of a room. I'm
Let's not talk about
oh my
math
gosh.
either.
Joel, don't go down that rabbit
Yeah.
hole.
Don't go there.
I got a calculator.
But I mean, you just had to notice, your way of life with your family.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, is that just
Finding activities to do outside with my daughter, it helped her get out more too and want to adventure more, going on hikes, taking her on a bike ride. When you're a mom with a young kid and you want to get some exercise in and you also work, you have to kind of get creative to find ways to get it done. And so, I'd take her to the park and run laps around or chase her up and down the equipment and stuff like that, or go on the monkey bars with her. And so for her, seeing my example, I think helped her not be scared to get out also. And even to this day, when she sees me finish something, she's always proud of me. And, even today she's like, wait, so I'm if I turn on the little radio thing one day? I can hear you. And I'm
You're
like,
like,
yeah. And
"Yeah,
she's
you
like,
can."
no way, that's so cool.
Tell her, like, 65 plus countries are going to hear you. Right?
Oh.
That's right. We got a little bit of a reach. So.
Going international.
That's right. Famous.
Yeah, we're local but global, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just that whole lifestyle change, because we're all parents in here, and whether it's spending time or setting those examples, because I don't think sometimes you realize when you're doing it the example you set. Like, you're out there because that's what you want to do or it's fun, but then you hear stories or you look back, even your child, and like, man, that was a pretty big point of that person's life, for example. Because I remember chasing Joel up and down hills and around monkey bars at the park. He's got so much energy, right? He's just a little monkey himself.
Used to be.
So.
Yeah.
So it changed a lot with your life, and then you've done the half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, okay, I like running. I like running with people. This is fun. This is exciting. Now I'm gonna did you have something else in mind at that point where you're thinking
Run a marathon.
All right,
Of
there we go.
course.
Natural
Right?
progressions,
Yes.
right? So what was your from your half marathon, how long until your marathon?
It was, I believe, 8 months.
Wow.
So from, if I'm remembering correctly, October to May the next year.
Okay.
And all along, once I hit that half marathon mark, I kind of was like, well, maybe I could do a marathon, but I always said, oh, I'd never do a marathon. That's too long and too hard and crazy on your body. Those excuses that you hear all the time.
This morning.
Yeah.
Right. Running's not healthy for you guys.
It's bad on your knees.
Very unhealthy. It's unhealthy for the pocketbook, let's be honest.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it gets
Truth.
that way.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I decided that I wanted to try to run the Ogden Full Marathon, and just kind of started working my way up to that now.
And then did you keep running with the same group? Did
my running group kind of transitioned because two of my friends actually ended up moving out of state. And it's kind of a funny story how I came about my next running group. I had already started the Chicks Run Utah Instagram, and one day I got a instant message from some guy named Adam. And I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. But in the message, it was like, hi, my name is Shalise, and I'm messaging you from my husband's Instagram, and I wanted to know if you want to run sometime. And I'm thinking, is this really a girl? Or like, what? I mean, am I being
right?
catfished right now?
That's awesome.
So I got super excited about it. And I was like, yes, I want to find somebody to run with, because this girl was willing to go at like 5 a.m.
Right.
If you find
Dark
friends.
parking lot. We'll meet
Yeah.
at a
Yes.
dark parking
Yeah,
lot
exactly.
at 5 in the
Okay,
morning.
you sound like my husband now.
Yeah.
But I was optimistic and was super excited to meet this person.
What's
and
the worst that can happen?
my husband started talking sense into me, and he was like, you're not meeting some stranger that messaged you from a guy's Instagram.
I know.
So the day before I was supposed to meet her, because I was too scared to like tell her I wasn't going to come, I decided I'm just going to call her and see if a girl picks up.
There
And
you
if a
go.
girl picks up, we're good.
We're closer.
Right.
And that's some crazy Russian language or something.
So I know they'd be very sophisticated. So I call her and I'm like super nervous and shaking, and I hear this girl's voice and she's like, hey, Melissa. And I'm like, yes,
Instant relief,
it's
right?
a girl.
Until she says, my husband's right here. Hold on.
So as an extra precaution, I invited another friend to go with me.
There you go.
And we met, and it was like the greatest run ever. We had so much fun. And at that point, I had only been on trails a little bit, but I kind of wanted to get more into running trails. And through meeting her, she knows the Ogden trails very well and opened my eyes to all the different trailheads and different routes. And through her also, her name's Shalise, I met a couple of the other girls that I currently run with today, too. And it's just been a really awesome group that we've kind of developed. So
That's cool.
That's amazing. I love these stories, and people, it's like you brought up a few times, it's that group dynamic too.
Right.
It can help a lot.
It does.
And it's not like you have to run with the group every time, because sometimes you want to go by yourself and kind of see what you can do or goof around or whatever, but that
Right.
group can get you out the door, right? It's like, oh, I can't let them down
Yeah, you
this
got to meet
morning.
them.
I got to
right?
meet them.
That accountability's there.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you did the Ogden Marathon. You did the full 26.2, which is a beautiful course here. I've never run it. But
it was crazy weather.
Oh, it was a rainy.
Was it a
But
rainy
I
year?
loved it the whole time. It was
Yeah.
like, I was like running around with the biggest grin on my face, even though we were being slammed in the face with sleet and wind, and everybody else was miserable. But I was like, I'm running a marathon. So
And that was maybe not quite 3 years after you decided to make this change, right?
Yep,
Okay.
it was almost a year ago,
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, I was only a year. You did it last year?
last May.
Oh, man,
Wow.
this story's about ready to get interesting, too.
Yeah, it is.
Because since last May, so you
Really?
ran...
2016?
Yeah.
Dang.
This is getting interesting. See, I told you, me and Joel sometimes will learn something and we look at each other and our minds are going crazy right now. So May, you ran the Ogden Marathon, finished it, 26.2, not a big deal. You know, hey, 26 miles. And
Oh,
then,
it was a big deal.
Well, I mean, in your mind, you're like, yeah,
Right.
I can do a marathon. Come on. So then, after that marathon, what happened?
I decided I had always been thinking about the Skyline Mountain Marathon, and
Ooh.
it scared the crap out of me.
That's such a good course.
is.
And I actually signed up for it, and I didn't tell anybody I signed up for it because I was like, people are going to judge me and think that maybe I'm
No.
crazy. So I did it, and that was like amazing. It totally just opened up my eyes, and I was like, okay, like I want more. The beauty of it,
Right.
I mean, that's like what comes first to me. I'm not a fast runner by any means, but I love just spending hours seeing nature and different things and just kind of meeting new people. And so I was like, this trail running stuff is like amazing. I mean, I had trail run before, but like the racing and
Right.
Was
Yeah.
that your first trail race besides just training? So those that aren't familiar, the Skyline Mountain Marathon is just here in Utah. It's in Ogden area, and it's just a magnificent course,
It
especially
is.
the first part. You head up towards Ben Lomond Peak,
Yep.
which is obviously the high point, and you come up just to the saddle, so just
Right.
shy of the peak.
Yeah.
And then you get to do some of the best ridge running.
yeah.
You do. That couple miles on the ridge is
It's
awesome.
unbelievable. And then, of course, you go down and up, and you're back on, where Lewis Peak, the backside of that, which is some amazing
Get eaten
ridge
alive by
running.
those hills, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's all
and
right.
Well, so that brings up a good point. So you ran the marathon in May. The Skyline race is in August.
August.
Did you change your training at that point because you've been running on the roads primarily, right? And you have hills. Don't get me wrong. And then you started to transition, do some trail stuff. But the Skyline race has some pretty legit climbing.
It does.
Yeah, I actually mostly trained for my marathon just kind of on the shoreline trail.
Oh, good.
That's awesome.
So I haven't ever really done like the really serious marathon training for like tempo and things like that. It's just
Right.
more running for fun and seeing where I could go. But the elevation of the Skyline Marathon, scared me, and obviously that was more than I had ever bitten off.
Oh
But
yeah, that's a lot. So did you do any type of elevation training beforehand, like some climbing, going up Malins?
The
or anything?
Oh
sound
yeah,
Something
we'd
like
go
that?
up Malins or
Right.
Lewis and Ben Lomond.
Okay, so
Okay.
Okay.
So you were seasoned
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
far as
by
that
that
goes.
point.
That's good.
So that was last August.
Yeah.
So just
Few months ago.
A few months ago,
Basically.
realistically, and that was the. And you hear the siren. We're by Bomber Studio, by the liquor
Emergency.
store.
Oh
and,
man!
everything else.
So a quick side note: you know that house that burnt down the other
Yes.
day?
Yeah.
We were watching it from here.
You were?
Yeah, you could tell it was just right over here. The dude that had the meth lab that was
I
blowing.
was wondering because I read an article about that saying he like jumped out of the roof and parole officers were
Yeah,
just
so the
there.
parole officers were there doing the check, and he would pretend like he wasn't home. Next thing you know, the parole officers are walking away. Boom! The house blows up, and they're like, "Well, is there anybody in there?" And he's scrambling out on the roof because the rest of the house is on fire.
You could
and
see that
he
from
didn't
the
want to come
freeway.
down. And next thing you know, the whole house is on fire.
That was intense.
That was intense.
big.
So yeah, Bomber Studios. It's just nonstop entertainment over here.
Bomber Studios.
That's right.
This is the place, man. You get a
is.
little bit of everything.
We would have a lot more entertainment right now if the liquor store was open.
Yeah, it's we're
It's a
recording on a
Sunday.
Sunday.
Prime people watching.
It
Yeah,
is.
oh,
You
this
know, with the
place.
trifecta, the check crashing store.
See the bullet
Yeah.
holes.
Oh, that's cute.
That's. She's like, I'm glad it's Sunday. All right, so last August, Skyline Marathon. Legit race, beautiful race, tough course.
Yep.
Um,
Good people.
Awesome people.
Yeah.
Great. It's just a great race. It really
Yeah.
is.
Good
Beautiful.
volunteers, too,
Yeah.
there.
Everything about it's pretty nice. The finish is a little different, I think, because isn't that where you kind of? It's probably the same still, right? Where you come down, go across, run along the dam by the boat ramp.
Kind of finishes in
not
a
to get backed
neighborhood.
into. Yeah.
It
Okay.
finishes at the park, doesn't it?
It's like just, well, I guess it's kind of across the street. Seemed like it was in the yard of a building.
Oh yeah. That's I forgot what that business is called. But then
It is a bus-
Eden Park's like across the road too.
And they had the
Right.
balloon festival going on, I
Yeah.
think. And so they had that whole deal going on in the park.
Right.
Okay, so couple things going at one time in
Yeah.
the same park. It's doable,
Yeah.
right?
It better be.
That's another story.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's August. Did you have, before you ran that race, was there anything else on the horizon that you'd already registered for or had your eye on, or was it after that race you decided to do something else?
For a while, I knew that I wanted to do a 50K. I felt like maybe the
We're just giggling. It's like, I couldn't run a mile. It took me 6 months. So I was going to do this 50K.
Yeah.
it just has always kind of intrigued me. When I very first found out that people ran distances like that, I was like, okay, I think I want to do that.
There's something longer than a marathon.
I
And
had
now,
no idea.
Did your running group enable you to? Because any good running group will.
Yes. Oh,
Oh,
yes.
That's their job, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We've
Be
been
like,
a part of
I'm
that.
not sure about this 50K. Oh, you could totally do that
It's
50K. What's
just a little farther
your
to
ultra sign
marathon.
up? It's login, by the way. Yeah.
We always joke that we plant these little seeds, and so if there's
Yeah.
a race that we're like, you should sign up for it.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
Do the little seed and flower emojis, like, all right, get that flower growing.
And what's interesting, and not I'm gonna say too different, but with trail running, they're so destination based.
Yes.
Too,
They are.
right? So it's not just there's a 50K. It's there's a 50K in Zion.
Right.
Or there's a 50K.
Gets you into trouble.
Yeah, and it's like, well, we can take the family down.
That's right.
It's like a good vacation.
It totally
Exactly.
is.
So you had your eye on a 50K. Was that was before the mountain marathon then, right?
I had it in my mind that I wanted to sign up for it. I probably was signed up for it at the time, maybe. I honestly can't remember, but
And which
in
50K was that?
Antelope Island
Okay, so the one in November.
in November.
Yeah,
The classic.
Wow, so we're really progressing here because the Skyline's in August.
Right.
So it gives you a couple months to do a 50K, which is only a little farther.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's
And
not that big a
to
deal.
be honest, the 50K course out there is
awesome.
about as hard as the Skyline race
Yeah,
is.
it's an awesome course
Right.
too. So then let me ask you this: where was your husband during all this? With your, hey, I'm going to run a marathon. Hey, I'm running a 50K. Was he
Yeah.
just kind of like,
It's like, go for
go
it.
for it? I mean, was
Yeah.
he just like, this is so amazing to watch this? You know what I mean? I mean, because it is. It's fun to see anybody do it.
Right. No, I mean, so what was your relationship like with him as you're going through this transitional period over a course of a couple of years? I mean, you're dropping weight, you're becoming more confident in yourself. If you're comfortable, tell us. I mean, did it change? Did it get better?
Oh, hands down. I mean, back 4 years ago, it was a real struggle because I didn't even want to function as a human, let alone interact with him barely.
Right.
And struggling just around the house and in general. So for him to see me kind of open up and develop and just find more confidence and become a happier person, it obviously improved our relationship as, I became more pleasant to be around.
Well, see, for us sitting in the conversations we've had with you, and even this one now, it's like it's hard to imagine you
It
not
is.
be
Right. This
outgoing,
bubbly,
pleasant, bubbly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was a hermit.
Just someone you wouldn't want to come across.
I mean, I wasn't like, I just avoided people in general. So
Right.
I am actually incredibly lucky that, one, I found him to be a partner with in life because he loved me even when I was unlovable. He's seen me
Right.
through my worst and been with me through my best. And it's still, there's still ups and downs all the time with
Sure.
with
Life.
anybody in life.
Yeah.
But he has been nothing but supportive. If I'm like, hey, I'm going to get up at 3 a.m. and go run with some girls, he's like, okay, what time are you going to get home? And half the time, most of the time, he's got an omelet and bacon and stuff
Right
ready
on.
for me when I get home. And I'm like,
Wow.
yeah.
That's pretty
He's
impressive.
incredibly-
I'm gonna have to
like
give him
that.
I'm gonna have to give him a phone call.
I know.
Hey, I'm running at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Hey,
swing
my
by.
Instagram handle is Dave. Yeah. Yeah.
Dave _creeper.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so does he run it all? I mean, does he have any of that type of stuff?
No,
or-
he likes to get out and go on hikes and things like that. Not so much a runner. He just kind of lets that be my thing. And I'm a little bit grateful for that in a selfish way.
Yeah.
Because
True.
when you have a married running couple, it kind of gets complicated figuring out who's going to go on what
Scheduling.
run and things
You
like
got the
that.
AM and the PM shift then.
Right.
Yeah, having kids
So-
and who's going to race this race, or
Yeah.
if you want
True.
to get to that point, because we've had those.
Yeah.
We know
I
those
heard
people.
sarcasm and spandex.
See,
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's
Talking
the
about her and
Instagram
Tommy.
handle.
Yep.
It's a
Kenzie.
double name.
Kenzie,
right?
Yeah.
The Instagram comes first. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna have to start, and that's why I tell people when you talk to me and Joel ever, and you introduce for the first time, sometimes lead with that.
That helps.
because we do know people, we recognize people. There's
So
sometimes
what's the
we
deal though?
don't.
People are like changing their Instagram
Yeah,
handles.
that makes it
That's
tough.
Kurt Stein. He
Yep.
needs to cut that crap out.
Well, he was raw vegan runner.
Yeah,
or
it was raw
something?
vegan. Now
And
it's
I didn't
like
know who it
it's
was.
like Dr. PhD Trail something then something. I'm
It's
like, dude,
hard. Yeah,
cut that
it's
crap
hard.
out.
Yeah, it's
Stick with
hard.
one.
Can't keep up.
I
I
can't.
know.
There's because you get a lot of people you like to see their stuff, and you know,
Yeah.
Kurt Stein, he lives in Maryland, right? I think
Yeah.
on the East Coast, so his photos are awesome because
Yeah.
we don't get to see that. But then it's like I don't know who this
Yeah,
one is.
who's this person?
I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same looking dude as
That's Stein. That's
Yeah.
that's Stein's beard.
Yeah. So yeah, we got to keep the Instagram, but introduce us with your Instagram
Yes.
sometimes. Unless me and Joe go, hey, and say your name.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll be like, what's going on?
Yeah,
You?
exactly. I recognize your face. I know your Instagram handle.
I've seen your face.
Those eyeballs, you're like,
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
you, but I don't know. I stalked you, but I
Yeah.
don't know why I
Or
stalked
the beard.
you.
It's like the beard. You can recognize some of the dudes with their beards.
facial hair
Yep.
is huge.
Yeah.
Or running apparel.
pro
True.
facial hair.
You know what I mean? Me and Joel talk about that all the time. When you see someone in running apparel and then you see them in, we call it clothes.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I've never seen you with clothes on.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
That's an awkward conversation
That really,
starter.
I was just
It
going to
is.
say, that's
But
a
they
little
know what you
awkward.
mean.
They know what you mean,
Yeah.
but people around kind of go, what in the world? I'm going to start following their account. So here we go. We're going back. All right.
So we were talking about the 50K.
50K, right, on Antelope Island.
Yes.
Right.
Which is, I'm hoping to do that one this year. Going into that one, you had some enablers. You probably had people that talked to you about the course a little bit. Going into a 50K, I'm really drawn to the mindset because because we've all been there when you're making that next jump, that
Right.
next leap. What was your mindset going into 50K? I mean, it is farther. I mean, you're in the 30s now, right?
Right.
And I mean, mileage-wise, don't get me wrong, 30s mileage-wise. What
I
was
think
your mindset
she's in her
going in?
30s for her age too.
Probably, but I
Right?
didn't want to say
Yes.
anything. I don't like to. I'm horrible at ages, so I don't like
It's
to
okay.
do that.
Don't
So,
guess.
Okay, I'm not. That's why
She's
I said mileage.
31.
Oh, I like you, but no.
That's safe.
Thank
That's
you.
safe. That is safe.
31.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, because you can't go too young either, because then some people get offended.
No,
that way.
if you still, oh, she's 29. You look like a ding dong saying that.
yeah,
right?
it's like, oh, are you that Adam dude that called me that one time?
yeah, exactly.
Right. Who is this?
So, Antelope Island 50K, and I imagine along the way you had improvements as well, not just distance, but like your overall, you either running
Like your normal
longer
train runs
or
are
your
getting
times,
faster.
or you're kind of doing that. So that's got to be a big boost.
Right.
Mentally.
So back when I initially started running with Shalise, aka the creepy Instagram husband story,
Shalise, also
I-
known as Adam.
yes, I had previously only really been like a Saturday or Sunday runner,
Right.
not ever weekdays or anything like that. And so when she first was like, well, let's run a Thursday morning at 5 a.m., I kind of was like, oh my gosh, a weekday at 5
know.
a.m.? And that kind of progressed throughout that period of every Thursday morning. And now we're going Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings. And it just kind of added, we're having fun, so let's go out more. So the training got easier because it was just fun to get out. And, you know, I wanted to get out. So it wasn't ever like a thoughtful, like, oh, I've got to get out on this run today. It was
Right.
just, we're having fun. And
Wait till you get a coach.
yeah.
well, I mean, if you got an omelet waiting when you get back, I'd go
True.
running a lot more too. Right?
It's true.
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna get an omelet.
Yes.
So you did a lot more running. Did you do throughout this time? Did you do any other type of like training, like whether it was weights or going to the gym or anything? You did some of that as well.
Yeah, so I love spin, and I also go to like a body pump class. So I do cross training with that, and I still stick to that schedule too.
Oh, wow.
So,
all
yeah.
around fitness, and
Yeah.
now you're just a all over it go getter with everything, right?
Oh, I get
so
it.
people don't recognize where you came from. Then I mean, you're just like a different. Your family. What is your family thinking? You just
When my mom and dad look at me and stuff, they're just they're happy that I made some changes in my life, obviously, but
Some.
some.
Can't say some.
yeah, right.
120 changes in my life.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, that's just
That's a good title of a book.
yeah, 120 change. But that's just not even
Right
the,
there.
Look at
Yep.
the lights are going.
Found it.
There's a fist bump going on here, folks. But that's not even. I mean, we're talking about that right there, the 120 pounds. But that doesn't include the growth of your
Yeah, her
mood
personally.
and your personally
Showing
and
up
it's
to
just
family
huge.
parties and
Yeah,
dinners
there you
and
go.
stuff like
Well,
that.
okay, so I
So what
noticed
was that conversation like? You show up 120 pounds lighter. Somebody hasn't seen you.
like, hey,
Where's Melissa
you?
at? I'm right here.
Yeah, it used to be awkward because my sisters would all talk about all these great athletic things that they were doing, and I'd just kind of sit in a corner and be a little bit angry at myself because I couldn't talk about these things. And
Right.
to me, back in the day, it was just kind of like, I felt not included. And so I
Right.
segregated myself and stayed away from everybody. And so as I became part of the family and the conversations and things like that, it just, my family relationships obviously improved as well. So
Well, now they're coming to you when you get
Yeah.
a family gathering. Like, so
Yeah.
what's a
I plan the
50K
parties.
What's a 50K like?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
now all the quote unquote athletic brother and sisters are like,
Right.
what's a 50K like? You
looking
know?
at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But just I can't imagine just how proud your whole family is, though.
Yeah.
Just in general, not for everything done, but just to see you succeed in putting
Yeah.
your mind to something. Because there is a lot more probably failures than successes when it comes to stuff like this.
I think so.
And that's unfortunate. But I think your story is, small goals.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know,
Finding things that you love. That's what kind of keeps you going back to when you set those small goals and kind of play around with things and see what it is that you like and don't like. Once you find those things that you like, that's what gets you kind of coming back for more. I think if I hadn't found, running and stuff, maybe hitting the gym and just going to a spin class might not be as exciting as going out and meeting friends and having fun while you're exercising. So
But that's what's important, I think, is having that group. You found that your original group was, a couple girls, and then you said a couple moved away, and then you happen to find another group. That's important, right?
right.
Because that really reinforces the success that you're having.
Well, and the neat part about that too is the first group you kind of came into, and the second group came to you.
Yeah.
Like you set the new standard,
Yeah.
right? So you came from looking for a group for people like, oh, she's inspiring, or
Right.
I want to do what she's doing. I mean, that had to be, and I know you probably don't think of it sometimes that way, but in your head, that's kind of you got to be proud of that,
Yeah.
right? It's like, wow, I can set an example for others, right? And I think that, in your post online, that is kind of what that's about
Yeah,
too.
that's
is
why
that
I
helping
decided to
those
share.
people. Yeah, because I can imagine, sharing a story is difficult. We talked about that. So when you're in a family party, you're planning the parties.
Yeah.
You're the center of attention most of the time now.
No,
Probably.
I got some sisters that like attention too.
Yeah.
That's
now
not
they're
a
trying
bad
to
thing, but
now they're
we're-
trying now they're trying to up you.
No, but always growing up when you got 5
Yeah,
girls,
these-
all
yeah.
of them are
Oh
looking
my
for
goodness.
looking for
always,
something.
always.
Like I could see that. I'm not going to say stuff because I don't want anybody to get mad. Because I have sisters and I have brothers, but just the whole dynamic. Oh, I got this on sale. I say $500. Like me, I'm a shopper, right? I
Yeah.
shop and I like to save money, so that's how I get them up. Say, hey, I just saved $40 at Smith Food and Drug on macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese.
So that's the other thing. Did you change your? You
Your
said
diet?
you did some. Did you change your diet?
Initially, it just kind of started as counting calories on MyFitnessPal. That's an app that I still log into to this day, just kind of keep that habit going. And it mostly just started as the calorie counting. And as you get into that, you learn more about the things that you're eating and then find better substitutes and things like that and decide to cut more of the processed stuff out. And so it's a total transition. I don't like the word diet. I don't like necessarily take part in any crazy like no carb or things like that. Because I think for me personally, if you tell me I can't have something, it's going to kind of work opposite for me. I'd rather find things that I can have that work for me.
Right.
So it's all about finding the things that can work, and it gets easier the longer that you do it over time.
Because we've talked about it's a lifestyle.
It is.
It's not a diet or a fad. Because I'm sure, just like anybody, you get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm where I want to be now. I can, do what I want, and then things change again for the worse. So it is a lifestyle.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's all
like,
constant. I mean, it's something that you still have to, think about and make decisions every day. And
Right.
there's ups and downs, but when you find things that you can have, it makes it a lot easier than thinking about all the things that you can't have.
yeah.
So what are the go-to things for you, like food-wise?
I'm a professional salad maker.
nice. I love salads. I
At my
really
work,
do.
everybody laughs at me because I keep a George Foreman grill in my break room, and I cook
That's
chicken
awesome.
and make my very own
You don't cook
fresh
fish
salad.
in there, right?
Front,
No,
she
they'd
like.
kill me, but
I was
I
just saying,
do.
no
I
fish.
love salmon. So
Do you have like some lettuce growing out back? You just go out there.
in the summertime, at my house, not.
Oh, okay.
I should start a garden at work though. They'd
Okay,
love
so where
me.
you work?
I work at Prime Alliance Bank, and it's
Where's
a
that
small
at?
bank. Probably nobody ever
Haven't
hears
heard
of
of
it.
it,
We
yeah.
do a lot of national leasing. It's in Woods Cross.
Okay.
Oh.
So I
Okay.
drive from Woods Cross to North Ogden every day. But I oversee the human resources and then also work with the executives and directors there.
Okay. So you can totally have a garden there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably have room,
plenty.
don't you?
Yeah.
At least on the roof.
Oh, I like that.
We even have like a little stairway down. You guys are giving me ideas.
See,
That's what we're
That's what
about.
we do.
Right?
I
Yeah.
like this.
We start a lot of really neat things.
We
just
have a
don't
lot of
finish 'em.
great ideas.
The Trail Manners Garden. I'm gonna name it after you
There
guys
you
and have a
go.
little
I
plaque
like
there.
it.
I
Yep.
like it. We'll throw
Send
the
you
logo
some-
over.
Maybe I'll have an Instagram with that. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Let us
right?
I like it.
Instagram.
As long as we can come pick some lettuce.
Oh yeah, radishes.
I love
Carrots.
radishes.
Yes.
Yeah. So your lifestyle changed.
She's a professional salad maker.
Professional salad maker, but you still, like you mentioned, you still eat protein, like chicken, stuff like that. Do you cut? Is there something like you just cut completely out, or you'll even say, you know what, I worked hard today. It was a good run. I'm gonna have some ice cream.
I'm gonna have some Girl Scout cookies.
Oh man,
Those little
little
devils.
devils, right? Saw them on a walk this morning.
Luckily for me, sweets don't necessarily do it so much for me, so that hasn't ever been the biggest problem.
Okay.
Never been like an ice cream. Sorry, but like.
Joel's an ice cream guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
And
can crush
passing
it.
on dessert is easy for me.
Really?
I'm more of a salty treat person, so like chips and things like that. I like the, artichoke dips and things.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So it's just kind of, if you want that, then make it out of better ingredients or find, cleaner ingredients to use. So thank goodness for Pinterest and things like that, resources that can help you
True.
eat better.
Do you like cheese curds?
I've never had a cheese curd in my whole life. I'm sorry to
It's a
disappoint
texture
you.
thing.
I'm out. I'm gonna start bringing cheese curds to all our podcasts.
What is a cheese curd though?
It's
What-
a cheese curd.
It's hard to. It's this waxy.
The other thing is people call it, like I grew up on it, we called it squeaky cheese. Because it's like you
True.
chew it, when you bite it the first time, it might squeak a little
It
bit.
is.
But it's a great form
So
of cheese.
strange.
It's not strange. It's ridiculously amazing.
It's
I'll go try
disgusting.
one.
So you go to Roosters here locally.
Uh-huh.
They've got deep fried cheese curds as an appetizer. If you eat some, I'm sorry, but you will be addicted. And
Okay.
Those are good. I'll give them credit on that.
they're unbelievable.
Those are pretty
I've
tasty.
had them
try
for a
them
long
one day.
time. Oh, not one day. You'll probably
Today.
all the time.
I'm going to Roosters
Yeah,
today.
deep fried cheese curds. Bring plates of them. That's what I tell them.
Plates of them.
3 plates at one sitting once. No kidding.
Really?
Yep.
Congratulations.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. I could have gone more, but I felt bad, so I just had to dessert.
Cut
They,
it off.
they actually ran out. That's the only
They
reason
ran
didn't
out.
go more.
It goes good with beer.
It does.
Okay, so your diet change, your eating change, it changed for your family a little bit too, since
Did they
kinda
start eating
bring
differently?
it into your house?
Oh yeah, my husband at first hated me because of all the things I was like, we aren't gonna have this, and I'd kind of message him if he got home from work earlier than I did. He's really good about getting dinner ready and stuff, and I'd message him exactly what to cook and be like, you can't use this, you can't use that. This
Right.
is how you got to cook this. And
Nice.
he's the most. I don't know how he puts up with me.
Man, we should have
He's
had
the
him on the
most
show.
He
patient
needs to be
person
here
on the
talking
planet.
right now
I know, right? The other half.
because he'll bring us some omelets.
He's so shy
Bacon.
though. He is so shy. He would know. I doubt he would.
You were nervous when you sat down, so see how easy
Yeah.
this is?
It
Once
is easy.
Once we draw you in, it's go time. We're
My
like,
clinch on the microphone is getting.
I noticed
softer
that.
and
Your,
softer.
your knuckles aren't
I
white
was
anymore.
cramping a little bit.
I saw that. I was like, man, we're going to
It's
go
the
buy a
mic
new
cramp.
mic. It's going to
Yeah.
bust it.
It's all that lifting.
That's right.
So, all right, let's go backwards. So, Antelope 50K, you finished that.
Yes.
Another milestone.
Yeah.
Really. And then what was next? Because I know some of this stuff, but I'm going to keep going down the line here. What did you
We're
want to
getting
do
close
next?
to like now.
Yeah, we are really
Yeah.
close.
So the Antelope 50K, after that, I decided, I kept seeing advertisements for the Antelope Canyon race.
That's right.
And I just thought, wow, that looks amazing. I want to run through those slot canyons and
Right.
see all these things. And
And there's
where
different
else?
distances down there.
There are.
So what were you drawn to?
Go big or go home. I went for the 50 miler.
Yes. I love her.
I got a few side eyes when I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing the Antelope 50 miler. And they'd be like, that's hard, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
That's okay.
You know that's 50 miles.
Yeah. Not 50K.
yeah.
So how did that go? Because that was just a month ago.
Yeah, it
Or
was.
less than a month ago.
Yeah.
About a month ago. Yeah. Let's,
guess-
Couple
let's
weeks,
say
yeah.
let's
Say
say
a
three.
month.
Three-ish weeks.
Okay.
Amazing family vacation spot. We
They
went
all
and
are.
explored the lower Antelope Canyon. My daughter loved it. She was taking my cell phone and was like, I got to get a picture of this and this and this. So it is a drive to get there from Ogden, obviously,
Yep.
but it was so worth it because it was so beautiful and my family could still have fun while I was doing a race. I was really scared about this race because, when people look at you and you say, I'm doing this race, and they're like, that's hard.
That's a hard 50 miler.
You know,
Right.
there's a lot of sand. It's like, oh, there's sand? Wait.
Oh, there's sand.
No.
Right.
I am a over researcher, and so
Yeah,
I had
you
looked at
knew.
people's Stravas who
Right.
had done it and kind of looked at where they raced today and see if my goal is always just to finish.
Right.
And I had read all of the write-ups on the people that had run the race. And so going into it, I knew it was going to be a really big challenge. I felt like I was going to finish, but I was kind of like, maybe I won't, and I'll be a big embarrassment. But we started that morning, and it was just so beautiful. It's hard not to just have fun, even though it's hard, you know. And in my mind, I wasn't thinking about 50 miles. I was just kind of thinking, I'm going to start when it's dark, and I'm going to end when it's dark, and I'm just going to do this all day.
Right.
So I had no time goals in my mind or anything like that. I just knew I was going until it was dark that night.
And
I finished.
Well, yeah. So, but what was the course like? What was your experience like?
Oh,
did you hit low spots?
The lowest spot I hit was probably the last 4 miles. Up until that, I was still pretty stoked on the race and
Right.
feeling good.
That's
Last 4 miles, there's some single track to run, right?
Yes. So once you hit 38 miles, you get to this beautiful single track, and it's like the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life because you can
Because-
actually run.
Yep.
And I couldn't believe at 38 miles, I was running at that point and feeling good running. Like it felt good to just cruise and move. But once it started to get dark and the sun was setting, and you felt like maybe you should be closer to the finish than you were, you know, those last few miles are always kind of a, where is this end? Like,
Right.
it's got to be here soon. I feel like I've been going forever. But throughout the day and stuff, there was never a point where, you know, I felt like I was going to want to quit or anything like that, or felt
Right.
like I was going to, struggle. The rolling sand hills are a little bit of a mind trick because it goes for a long time,
Right.
and you kind of have to be like, all right, I'm going to go to this power pole, and now I'm going to run to this power pole, and
Right.
you just kind of have to take it little by little and break it up into pieces. So.
But those are, it's almost worth it once you get into the canyon, right? The slots.
Yeah. Oh, the whole time I thought, oh, this is a great race. I'm only going to do it once. I'm never doing this again.
Right.
But at this point, I was laughing with my friend that ran the race with me, and we were like, we're never doing this race again. This is horrible, and not horrible, but like I'm never doing it.
Right.
And now we're like, I want to go back. I want to do it again. It was so gorgeous. Like going over the Horseshoe Bend and seeing that where most people aren't allowed to go, and you get to stand right over the Horseshoe Bend and run alongside it.
Right.
And kind of climb up rocks. Like the slot canyons were crazy. This isn't just a running race. You're literally like going
Scrambling.
up and through slot canyons and scrambling down rocks and things. And so it's
awesome.
an adventure. It's definitely an adventure.
And so you finished the 50 miler.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is crazy. 4 years from
Right.
not being able to run a mile, and where you came from, just not physically, but even mentally, to doing, hey, I'm gonna run a 50-mile race, and it's fun. I enjoy
Yeah.
it. I'm at mile 46, and now it's hard. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, the story you have and the progress you've had. I mean, I can't imagine anything in life like you looking at it going, this is gonna be hard.
Right.
Really. I mean, it just seems like you've already won. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And conquered. There's nothing in front of you that's going to give you as much a challenge as maybe what you've already had.
She's got one more challenge.
Yeah, I know. We're getting there. We're getting there. So you just did a 50-miler,
Yeah.
and that was in February,
Right.
So what's what's next? This is where we're in unfamiliar territory. Here.
Unfamiliar territory. I'm
Yeah.
in unfamiliar territory. At least I will be.
So it's March in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? What's on your
So
upcoming
what's
schedule?
the rest of your year look like, race wise?
Race-wise, I have a little race in April, the beginning of April.
It's in a couple weeks.
yeah.
A couple of weeks. It's going to come quick. So
What's that?
I go big or go home, I guess. We'll see if dreams come true. But
Where's this located?
Zion.
Zion.
And what is it?
There's a lot of distances there too.
Man, there's like
Yeah.
5 or 6 distances
so
down
where,
there now.
Where are you at there?
I feel like the next natural progression would be 100
100.
miler.
Oh my gosh.
I thought you were gonna say 100K.
I did too. I honestly thought that's what you're going to say.
So you're
okay.
doing the
so
Zion 100?
Yes.
that's awesome.
The Zion
That's rad.
Breaking news.
The Zion
This is
1.
top secret.
That's
Not
rad.
anymore, it ain't. The Zion 100-mile trail race.
Yeah.
In
Yep.
a few weeks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, when this show launches, it'll be a week,
Yeah.
maybe, right?
Huh.
Joel's doing a Zion race, right?
Maybe. We'll see. I kind of want to go down and just explore, to be honest now.
Yes.
Just go up. There's like some slot canyons and stuff I'd just like to go
Go check out.
kind of play
Fun
around
run.
in.
Fun
Yeah,
runs.
exactly. Instead of suffering for 28 hours.
Okay, so you're doing a 100-mile race. You have friends going down with you, doing the race with
Yeah,
you?
do you have like pacers?
What's going on,
girl?
What's going on? It's been 4 years today, and now
Yeah.
you're like doing a 100-mile race.
Well,
And it's not like an easy one.
No.
This is a hard race.
it is.
She's like shaking
Who
her
have you
head.
talked to that's done this race?
Nobody, but I've
Stalked.
We can
stalked.
talk.
Yeah.
We can,
I've
we can
stalked
talk.
everybody.
I've done this race. We can talk.
So what's going on heading into this race? Where's your mind at? What's your plan? Pacers, crew, friends running. What's going on?
I actually luckily have a friend that's doing it with me. So his name's John. He actually is one of the ones that kind of inspired me to get into ultra running and things like that.
Do we
he's
know
done-
John? Who's John?
John Martinez, Johnny Penny, 123 on Instagram.
Okay, now I know.
Okay.
So he's done the Buffalo Run a few times.
Okay.
One of my good friends, we go running a lot, and him doing the Buffalo 100 kind of inspired me to want to get into things like this and see if it was possible. So
I can answer that for you without even trying. It is. I think you've shown that.
I'm sorry. I just was thinking about what you're going to do after the Zion race. I'm like, okay, is there any 200s that are open this year?
No,
I'm
I
like,
plan on
okay, yeah,
spending-
the Moab 200's still open. She'll probably do that.
You know,
you
she'll
know?
finish
Yeah.
like, well, where's
Yeah.
the computer?
Turdy Gantz, you
Do
know,
we get
stuff like
Wi-Fi
that.
here?
Yeah.
I haven't progressed from that. I think this will be the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
We're gonna-
You said after the
Yeah.
family
I'm gonna
5K.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The family 5K.
This is awesome. I love this family 5K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100 mile.
That was cool.
That is cool. No one's done a race for me.
Gosh.
Okay, so 100-mile
Zion,
race.
that's so rad.
That is rad.
That's
I mean,
a good course. You're going to love it.
it's
Yeah.
almost.
You're gonna have fun.
I mean, realistically, you say 4 years. You're just 4 years and a couple weeks from when you started
from
this
0
journey.
to 100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
0 to 100.
Now
and
we're here.
You've only skipped the 100K mark too, by the way.
Yeah.
That's
That's
why bother, right?
I'm
She
like you said,
seems
go
to
big.
double every time she does a race.
Right? So 100 milers. What are you thinking going into this?
Are you scared?
Are you scared? You
Nervous?
Oh, I'm
nervous?
definitely scared. I'm definitely nervous going into it.
Yeah?
One of the reasons why I don't talk a lot about the races that I do with a lot of people is because you always, one, you have people that kind of give you the look like, I don't think you can do it. And two, if you can't do it, I mean, that's always definitely a possibility, is not being able to finish. That happens to people all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
But going into it, my mindset will just kind of be as it has been in other races. I'm just going in for fun. I'm obviously not the fastest runner on the planet, and maybe that works in my favor a little bit because I can tempo myself, and
Right.
I know when I can push, and I know when I just need to just keep moving forward. So I feel like hopefully I'd like to think that my journey through life helps me be mentally strong, and that will play a good part in going into a big race like that.
So how do you handle nutrition on the longer distances? What's your game plan on that?
Got an omelet and
I
your
like peanut butter and
vest.
jelly a lot.
Do you?
Wow.
I love peanut butter
They
and
have
jelly
good.
sandwiches.
They have good PB&Js there.
Do you
Yeah.
like quesadillas?
I do like the quesadillas.
Oh my gosh. Mile 58 station's got really good quesadillas.
Sweet.
And then you come back through that aid station again, which is mile 68.
Yeah.
And it's going to be later in the evening. Oh, they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Just bring a Ziploc baggie so you don't
Yeah,
get
exactly.
grease
Stuff
all
them in
over it.
there.
Yeah, stuff them in there
Yep.
because from 68 to 75, that is a long way.
Yeah.
And you're going to need a little something there.
You need a quesadilla,
Yeah,
power.
that's right.
Yeah. Mountain Dew.
So what's your
Mountain Dew.
I like Mountain Dew while
Okay.
I race.
Wow. So what's your training? I mean, what's your training been like? I mean, do you keep an eye? Do you say I want to run a 50-mile week? Do you do any of that more structured stuff? Right.
Yeah. I typically run about 40 miles a week regularly, and recently before the 50-miler, I upped it to 50 miles a week. So I've been kind of holding consistent to that, aside from the last 2 weeks, obviously, since I've been in recovery from the 50-miler. So this week I hit 40 again, and probably do another, maybe get a 20-mile in before the race, but I feel pretty good coming off of the 50, and
That's going to be a big.
got in some
that'll
good
play a
miles.
big key for sure.
Yeah.
That 50.
yesterday. So yeah.
Wow.
And is your family going down to this one?
I think my mom and dad are, and my husband and daughter. So yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Man, I can't.
There's good places for your family to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a couple aid stations that can come hang out, cheer you on.
So you're heading in with a goal. Your goal's to finish.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Just to finish.
And are you the friend John? Are you guys planning on running together the whole time? Is
Yep.
that the kind of the plan?
Mhm.
And he run this one before?
He has not done the Zion before.
Okay.
Nope. And then I have another friend, Kim, that is probably going to come down and run some of the miles with us too. So.
Oh, kind of pace a little bit and crew. So is your parents and husband going to crew for you?
Yeah, my husband will be there probably throughout any chance that he has an opportunity
George
to,
Foreman
and then
grill
he'll
in hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
George
he'll-
Foreman grill,
he'll
quesadillas. Yep.
A couple heads of lettuce.
Yeah.
yeah. Bring
Lettuce
me my
wraps.
lettuce and my George. Love George. Everybody should have a George.
That's I got one. So I'm
Everybody
not
should
gonna
have
say.
a George.
I got one.
Makes life easy.
Nice. So, man, this is
It's exciting. We'll have to talk to her when she gets done with the
yeah,
race.
for sure, absolutely. Well, it's hard to like wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, just in general, just from where you've come and kind of what we see now, and with your bubbly personality and your story, and now, I mean, 100 miles. That's
Yeah. That's
a-
exciting.
That's
We're excited
wild.
for you.
Oh,
Super
super
wild.
excited.
Especially going to Zion for your first one. That's
Yeah.
rad.
That is
That's
really
such a
cool.
cool course. You're going to have fun.
Do you have anything planned after that through the year? Is this kind of like
Yeah,
see
I
how
mean,
what happens, or do you have like a
You
50
front
mile,
loaded
50K?
the year. I mean,
Yeah. It helped me through the winter, though. I mean, having that Antelope Canyon race really, because I struggle in the winter really bad.
It was
just getting
relentless
out.
this year,
it was
wasn't it?
A horrible.
It
It
was
was
a tough
crazy.
winter.
winter can suck it.
So having that race at the beginning, early in February, really helped me throughout the winter to keep moving and keep getting outside. These two guys that didn't know who I was that I saw at a film festival convinced me to sign up for a race in
Oh, we did. Which one?
Vaquero.
Yes, that's right. We did. I remember
did.
that.
You
You're gonna
signed
love
up-
that one.
You signed up that night.
She
right?
did.
I did.
Right in front of
Yeah.
us on your
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Someone
right.
else did
Pressure,
too, I
Jackie.
thought.
Yeah, that's right. Jackie
and
King got her to do it.
Yes.
That's what good people are all about.
That's what it's
Just
Peer pressure
making
is the
you-
best
You're gonna
kind.
love.
I'm
that
excited.
race.
You are. That's a rad course.
You're
Really.
gonna love that one.
Oh, the start finish is the best too.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing. You're doing the 50K, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
So that'll be
Good.
awesome. That's so cool.
So what's between Zion and Vaquero? You got anything? Or are you gonna take a big fat break?
Just climb the mountains around here.
Nice.
I don't have
Enjoy it.
anything else on my agenda.
What about Sinks Canyon?
Don't know that one.
That's in June.
It's in
Yeah?
June. Is
That's
that the third Saturday in June?
It's the 24th of June. I'm gonna
Okay.
say that out loud.
Where's my phone? Should I sign up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
We're gonna be
it's
there.
Super inexpensive. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
best
just-
part about it. For a 55K, it's $50.
Oh.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's in
Lander.
Lander. So it's not too far down the road.
No, he
And-
says it's about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I think he drives really fast.
He must. Yeah. He's
So
got
I'm gonna say more like 4.
Yeah. So
Ish.
he's we had him on the show, Gabe Joyce. He's the race director, and that's
Oh, yeah.
that's one we've been eyeballing for sure.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Awesome.
Just got to pull the trigger. I saw the rates don't go up for a while, so I'm hanging on to that a
Yeah.
little bit because I got to pay for the Volkswagen bus repair.
Mhm.
Oh.
Then we'll see what happens.
I'm opposite. I kind of sign up and then I think after and
Oh, really?
yeah.
You better grow a garden.
Yeah, exactly. So you got nothing in between Zion and, well, I mean, you're going to do Sinks now.
Yep.
Are you going to go
Yeah.
back and do Skyline?
I do want to do Skyline, and they added actually this year.
Oh, you
they
can go to
upped
the
it to
summit.
a 55.
Yeah, you can go to the summit.
Go to the summit of Ben Lomond
Yeah.
and to Lewis Peak.
Right.
So I totally want to do that one. Yeah.
So let me ask you that question. That's kind of interesting. What's your mindset on this? Is there any races that you have already done this with, or want to go back and see if you can do it quicker, like faster? I mean, do you have a mindset, or it's just like, no, I just want to enjoy it, or do you have that little thing in your head? It's like, I'm going to go back and run it faster now.
Mm-hmm. I haven't really experienced that yet, just because I've obviously been thinking about other things, going
Bigger.
to different races
Yeah.
and stuff like
Doubling
that.
my race distance every time.
I mean, it does. I do think about that a lot lately. Like, man, I really need to work on like my speed work and stuff because I just go out to have fun and things like that. And I think I could get faster. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's definitely something on my radar that I'd like to work on, climbing the peaks higher. I measure like my peaks and stuff like that. I see how quick I can get up Ben Lomond or
Right.
Lewis, and I'm always like, oh, I want to get a little bit faster this
Right.
time. But I think it would be interesting to go back and do the Fall Classic Buffalo Run again, see
Okay.
if I could do it quicker.
I bet you
probably.
you
could.
still got space between Vaquero and the Fall Classic.
Joel's trying to fill your.
I'm
schedule.
trying to help. I'm a great
Yeah.
enabler.
Yeah.
Trying to think
You're
what
gonna have a
happens in
big garden.
September.
There's the. There's,
You need
it's
a
not
paper and a
full.
pen to write this
That's
down.
not full, huh? In
Yeah, that's
September.
not
There's
full.
that North Face
Nah,
race,
don't
but
do
that's,
the North Face race.
I don't know a lot in September other than the big ones here that are full. Wasatch and Bear.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, Mid Mountain Marathon.
Never
No,
Yeah,
that
that's in
used to be in
August.
September. Now that's in August.
Yeah,
Never
that's in
mind.
Park City.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
Oh.
the week before Skyline. So that's totally doable.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
You think about doing Skyline then this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be Vaquero,
Skyline.
Skyline, the Mid Mountain Marathon. So that'd be a good August
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. Well, just give us your
September.
password.
Yeah, exactly. October, there could be some good races in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Javelina.
That'd be fun.
I still want to do that.
I do too.
Javelina
'Cause
100.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is that it's on
Halloween.
Halloween weekend.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll just, we can trick or treat down there.
That'd be cool if they did have that for kids.
Trunk
They
or
could-
treat.
Then you can
That'd
take
be
your
awesome.
That'd be creepy too,
Yeah.
because it is a Halloween race.
It'd be cool because most of the
They
people
dress
down
up in
there,
it,
They
don't
dress up
Yeah.
in it, yeah.
most of them be handing out gels for trick or treat.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Gels and shot blocks.
Yes.
That might be okay too. Well, golly, your stories, there's not even words for it realistically. Especially talking to you. I mean, reading it's one thing, but having the opportunity to talk to you about it, and are you more comfortable talking about it than say you were a year ago or when you penned that in online?
Oh, yeah, for sure. One of the great things that kind of came from sharing the story is having a lot of people reach out to me and just kind of ask for help. Or I've
Right.
had the opportunity to speak to some groups, and I've also spoken with my sister that kind of helped me. And it's not funny, but it's awesome. My sister actually, because of her experience with me, decided to certify to become a personal trainer. I actually certified
That's
with
cool.
her, but so we're both personal trainers.
Right.
I don't actively do it right now, but she actually has a studio and does healthy challenges and stuff that I kind of help her with.
That's awesome.
And just the fact that she now has this business opportunity, Vibrant Life Studio is what she calls it. It's kind of cool because it opened up doors for her also
I'm sure.
to have a career and a passion. So
just to see that. I mean, you came from, like you were saying, you would hide or get out of engagements with friends and family, and now you're public speaking
Yeah.
to
Right.
groups. That's got to
To
be
62 countries. She's
right
speaking
now.
to
Right now you are.
62
Yeah. I mean,
countries,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you're going to be big time now. But is that? I mean, how do you process that yourself? Like, you look at where you came from, and now people come to you. I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, is that just?
if I could describe it in a way, I feel a little silly, which sounds weird because it just seems like a whole different life ago. It seems like it's weird to imagine how far I've come because this is my life now, and I don't remember as much how my life was back then. It's like a whole different person. And sometimes I feel a little bashful when people kind of like come up to me and talk to me, and they're like, "Oh, I read your story," but it's awesome. But then I feel like weird about attention sometimes. I don't know. It's hard
We
to
get that.
explain.
We get
Yeah.
that.
We get that problem
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
You know?
we get it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's having people that just say, this really helped me. It's amazing to
That's gotta
show
make
that you
you-
can change people's lives just from telling them about your experience changing.
And just for that, I mean, you need to, and you probably don't just from who you are, but you need to really pat yourself on the back for
Yeah.
that. Not just what you've done with yourself, but I can imagine. I mean, just think of the countless people you've helped. You have no idea,
Yeah.
right? You have
Yeah.
people come to you, but I can only imagine how
Well, I
many
mean, her
people,
story touched us,
yeah,
right?
Yep.
I mean, 'cause I remembered the story, and then I was like, okay, I know this face. This face goes with something. And then when I put the two together, I was like, oh, yeah, I want to talk to her. I want to know more about this story.
Yeah, and just the people like your family,
Yeah.
just how they feel, your daughter, your husband, just everybody. Just it's got to be, you got to take some time, a little bit here and there, to say, wow, just super proud of what you've done
Yeah.
and what you've accomplished, really. And 100 miles, I mean, that's nothing compared to what you've gone through. Really,
True.
it
It
really
isn't.
isn't. So, and like you said, when you're 50 miler, it's like, oh, it's not, it's not hard. I mean, you
okay, maybe the last 4 miles were hard, but besides that.
yeah.
And if you could say that for Zion, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that'd be rad to hear
living
that.
the dream.
That's
It's
right.
That's
amazing.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
We're gonna get her on
Yeah,
when she
wa-
gets done.
Yeah,
with
because
Zion.
that's inspiring, and I know people from our show. We've had people on the show that have inspired people with their stories.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had Brad Sween on, which blew me and Joel away. He
know.
Right,
dropped
I
over
listened to
100
that one
pounds.
too.
He
Yeah,
said he dropped 100
amazing.
pounds. You look
I
at him, you're
couldn't
like, what?
Where'd you put it?
I know,
Right?
exactly, because
Yeah.
he's got these quads of steel.
Yeah.
He's so fast too.
Yeah,
He is
he
getting
is.
stupid fast.
Yeah, I can't.
I want to
I'm
trip him.
He's like, he's like, yeah, we should run.
He was up in
Yeah.
our neighborhood running the other day. Did you
I
Did you
know.
see that
I
on
did.
Strava? I was like,
Not very-
dude, he even talked to us about coming running with him.
Yeah,
It's 'cause
thanks,
he's
Brad.
too fast.
Yeah, he
Saw
is.
that
He's like,
stretch on Shoreline.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
gotta run fast. I better not invite Eric and Joel.
Yeah, Brent. Yeah, Joel, just slow me down.
I would have brought cheese curds, so you're out. Well, yeah, that's exciting. I mean, we're really excited to share the story with our listeners, just
Yeah.
because, I mean, I've enjoyed this 100%. It's not
I know.
like it's like
Awesome.
pigeonholing anybody. This is like everybody could take a piece out of this book
know.
for sure. And I don't know of many people. I can't think of many people that, had a race done just for them either, right?
True.
That's
I
pretty
still love
iconic.
that.
Yep.
I love
it
that.
is.
That is really cool. Yeah, that's
I'm
really
lucky.
cool. I want to see the T-shirts.
I know.
I should have brought my T-shirt because I
should've.
still have it.
Yeah.
Send us a
Yes.
picture of it.
I will.
Yeah. So, that's the other thing I think reading your story is you said you didn't have a whole lot of before photos.
Right.
And now you're on Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
My friend psychologized me. I like to say it.
Psychologize you.
We were talking about it, and I was like, "It's so funny because I never took pictures before." And she was like, "Do you think that's why you like to take pictures now?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're smart."
That could be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's exciting. It's fun because, like I said, we're following on Instagram anyway, so we've seen a lot of your journeys.
Yeah.
But we didn't know the original journey for
No.
sure. But just to see what you're doing now is inspiring to anybody.
I appreciate that.
And I don't know. It's just I feel privileged to be able to talk to you, just to know where
Oh,
you've
you're
come
nice.
from and what you've done and the countless people that you have no clue who you've helped before today.
Right.
And I can only imagine there's people out there that are gonna love this. So
Right.
But if you get a
That's
hold
cool.
of her, be
Don't be creepy, Dave.
don't be creepy guy, right? Come at it with your
Your true Instagram.
Your own
true
Insta.
Yeah,
exactly.
right. Maybe you have to Skype or FaceTime to make it legit.
Yeah, that's right.
But
If you have less than 3 pictures, I don't trust you.
That's so true.
ooh, that is true.
Yeah.
we get some weird people.
Oh,
on
we
it.
do get some weird
I
people
reported
friending
somebody
us.
the other day.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
Really?
They make it hard though. I had to click like 7 things to report it. It's like report for a reason. Psh, what reason after that? Psh, what reason after that? Psh.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Just making sure that you're not being a total dingbat.
Yeah,
You know?
but they got reported. I got
Good.
them
Good.
Yeah, I don't like people like that. So, anyway, good luck.
Thanks.
At
Yeah.
Zion.
Yeah.
I don't think you need it. Like I said, I think your
Oh, yeah.
journey's
She's got it.
your journey's been insane and inspiring. And I think the 100-mile race is just for you another celebration of where you've come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
it
know,
is.
it really is. I mean, 4 years
Yep.
running 1 mile
It's 100.
to 100 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
120 reasons.
120 reasons.
just have some bullet points. 120 cool things.
120 small chapters.
Oh, yeah.
Micro
Yeah.
chapters.
This is getting good.
This is getting
This is
good.
getting real
No, I
good.
was joking. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm on your train.
Yeah, good.
We pull some ideas here.
We
and
do.
there. Yeah, pull some good ones. So, all right. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you. We'll definitely. We love getting back to people after they accomplish some amazing things, and I think Zion, just to see your excitement from finishing,
Yes.
right? That'll be awesome. Some finish line photos.
Yeah,
Well,
Yes.
you'll have a few of those, I'm sure.
Few.
Right.
Mhm.
On Chicks Run Utah.
Yep.
CHIX.
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
That's right. That's where it comes from. So, yeah, I think that's it for today. Great story. Thank you seriously, thank you for sharing that with us. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know it isn't always easy, but we appreciate it. Thanks for. She's got one hand on the microphone now, so I think we've passed that stage.
Yeah, me
of,
too.
Oh,
I think she's
shit.
ready to be the next co-host.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. You can come on and give a segment.
That's right.
How to get a race named after you, right?
I like that.
right. A little how-to.
This is
How-to.
awesome.
But yeah, thanks for coming on the show. We
Thank
sure
you.
appreciate it. Like I said, we'll circle back around and get with you again, and hope to see you.
We'll see her in the morning. 5 a.m.
5 a.m. dark o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, running. That's right.
We see
I'm
her.
like 5 a.m. What's
She's
going
on
on?
Tuesday, Thursday schedule like we are.
Yeah, we
You
need
know
some
this.
omelets, so we got to find out where she goes after.
We do
I
bring,
live-
me and my crew bring treats after some runs.
Really?
We bring like caramel pull aparts and
I can't go on those runs. Do you
Wow.
have cheese curd pull
I usually
aparts?
gotta hurry up and go home, so I'll.
You got a
Yeah.
to-go bag.
No.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. Good luck in Zion.
Thank
and
you.
Congratulations on everything you've done. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us and all our listeners. So that's it for this week. Melissa Solomon, thank you so much. Have fun. Good luck. And we'll talk to you again. Thank you for listening to the Trail Manners podcast. We'd like to thank Melissa Solomon for taking the time to join us and sharing her amazing journey the last 4 years. You can check more at the Trail Manners out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Trail Manners, or swing by the website at trailmanners.com. There you can hit us up on the contact page, let us know what you want to see, who you want to hear, or even if you would like to be on the show. Until next time, this is Eric Manning with Joel Hatch reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.